I've got another confession to make. I'm your fool. Everyone's got their chains to break, holding you. Were you born to resist or be abused? Is someone getting the best, the best, the best, the best of you? Is someone getting the best?
Warning: this podcast features adult subject matter, adult language, and things not meant for children to hear. Viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. We could be. We might be. It looks like, I believe we are. We are live, ladies and gentlemen, here on the I'm No Joe YouTube channel. Welcome, boys and girls, children of all ages, back to another episode of the Joe Luminaries, the newest news show we knew about, and we knew that you would want to know about it, so we're bringing you all the new news that you could ask for. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in to your new home for all things punchy, kicky news and recent event announcements. This is the Joe Luminary. This is where we bring you all the fun things to talk about, all the fight announcements, all the interesting tidbits that have shaken loose in the MMA world since the last time we have seen you wonderful people. Tonight, I managed to get the not-so-new kid to come in and take part in the news with us here this wonderful evening. How the fuck you doing over there, RJ?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty fucking good tonight.
We've got some interesting shit here. I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of disappointing news that have come out in the last week. Not that every week during fucking Backstreet Boys and the craziness we're living through is fucking happy, sunshine, go lucky, but just particularly the MMA world news was really a super fucking heavy check mark in the Debbie Downer column this week. So we'll get into some of the lighter ones first. I'll try and save the heavy baggage to drop on you guys for a little later in the end. We'll do the compliment sandwich thing. We'll go nice, just stick the shit in the middle, and then we'll end with a little bit of niceness, so it's not too heavy. First one, we just found out yesterday. I'm not going to lie, I was a little excited for the original matchup, but I'm probably equally, if not more so excited for what it has turned into. Originally, 2 weeks from this Saturday on August 29th, we were going to get some Neil-on-Neil action. We were going to have Jeff Neal versus Neil Magny, and it was set to be a fucking great grappler-striker fucking matchup. Turns out, Neil-on-Neil violence is just not something that's going to be happening, at least not right now. Jeff Neal pulled out due to an injury, but Neil Magny said that he would like to keep the fight on if they could find a replacement fighter for him. He's put the work in. Why not? Well, last night, they found a replacement for him, and the fight stays as scheduled. So on August 29th, instead of seeing Jeff Neal against Neil Magny, now we're going to see Neil Magny against Robbie fucking Lawler.
Yeah, I got really excited when I saw that news.
I went, oh shit! My wife was like, what? I was like, oh, just fight stuff. Like,
I got real excited when I saw that.
Yeah, I squeaked a little bit. I was like, oh shit! So I am definitely excited to see how that goes down. I think that's going to be a real interesting matchup. It's kind of Robbie's as close as he's going to be able to get to running it back with Askren, in my opinion here, because Askren's done and he's not coming back. But Neil Magny is equally as qualified, and I feel on the same level as Askren was wrestling-wise. And I think this is as close as Robbie's going to get to a chance to kind of take that L back, and I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup. I'm excited to talk about that next week on I'm No Joe.
Oh, yeah.
So, another, I guess it's kind of lighthearted, kind of not. It kind of came out of left field. It's a little bit surprising because of how things have been going lately, but we did get word on Tuesday that Corey Anderson officially asked for his release from the UFC. Within 20 seconds, they gave it to him, and he's officially signed with Bellator. Corey Anderson is now on the Bellator roster, and already Ryan Bader, the 205 belt holder over there, has noticed and said, this looks like an interesting matchup to come. So they're already priming Corey to take over there. And realistically speaking, if Bader's the best they've got at 205, I don't know. I mean, truth be told, Bader still has to make it past Nemkov, because Nemkov was originally supposed to get a hold of him back in March, and That's Fedor's prodigy. That's literally Fedor 2.0. So,
Yeah.
assuming he gets past Nemkov, Corey Anderson is going to jump right into the fucking top 5 of that division over in Bellator immediately. I guarantee it. He's going to get a fucking title shot within a fight or 2 tops. So,
Yeah, I mean Anderson was good in the UFC. Just the 205 division was so fucking saturated.
So fucking heavy, man. And he's another one of those that's been clashing with Dana White and the front office for years. It's not a secret he doesn't get along with the most of the actual like office workers. He doesn't like the fucking politics games that are obviously played at the top level of any fucking sport in any division, but he just didn't like the way the UFC was doing things. He'd been training with DC out in California when one of the Bellator guys was coming to hang out at their gym. Words apparently were exchanged about how nice it would be if Corey were to come over and, take a crack at some of the talent they've got at Bellator. Corey sent word to his manager to see if the UFC would release him or if they would contest it, and the UFC apparently responded literally within 20 seconds and said, no, you want your release? Cool, you're gone. Best of luck, buddy. Which is kind of fucking crazy because he's ranked number 4 and arguably could be number 3. Like, Corey Anderson is top 3 of the 205 division right now.
Yeah, without a doubt. But I mean, hey, they let him go.
That's what I said. I'm like, that was
Best
a
of
dumb
luck to
move
him.
on Dana's part, man, because he's gonna do well, and he's gonna get all the sponsors he can fucking handle when he gets over to Bellator now. So,
I mean, I'm not mad at it at all. Like, you're unhappy working with this promotion. You think you might be happy in the Bellator promotion, dude? By all means, go do you. Find a promotion where you're happy. And I mean, with something outside of UFC, you have sponsorship opportunities, and with the name of Corey Anderson, you're gonna get some pretty good fucking sponsors.
that's right.
And that's more money in your pocket, man. That's more money at the end of the week.
Hell yeah, it is.
I'm not mad at that.
Excuse me. Speaking of ironic signings, we also got word just this afternoon that upon entering free agency and determined to test the waters that it brings, Paige Van Zandt has officially found her new home. She is no longer with the UFC. She also turned down the Bellator offer that they threw at her. Paige Van Zandt, as of this evening, is now officially a bare-knuckle fighter.
Shut the fuck up.
She turned down the Bellator contract. She refused the offer from the UFC to renew the contract she had. She accepted the BKFC contract, and they are trying to get her on the very next fucking card that they possibly can.
I don't see that ending very well for her.
No, that is probably the dumbest thing she could have done, specifically since she said it wasn't about her and the UFC not getting along. It was about what was best for her future. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Nobody watched a Paige Van Zandt fight ever for her striking. Never. Not once. Of all the things anyone trains for when they get into a fight with Paige Van Zandt, striking has never been one that's on that whiteboard. Ever.
I mean, maybe she has like interior motives with this. Maybe she wants to do something like BKFC to get that boxing, to get her striking up to par, to go to a Bellator or ONE FC, or see if she can go back to the UFC.
That is always a possibility.
She could be a definite force to be reckoned with, because she's pretty good whenever it comes down to her ground game.
I kind of feel like that's
striking.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like that's hitting yourself in the thumb with a hammer to see if you can make a fist when you're in pain. Like,
yeah,
that's not a great way to do it. Like, of all the things Paige Van Zandt is good at, striking is not on the top of that list. Like, her judo is fucking
She's
good.
better
Her
at fucking
groundwork is good. Her social media game is good. Her striking,
she's better. She's better at dancing on TikTok
I'm
than fucking
saying
striking.
she was better on Dancing with the Stars than I think she's going to be on BKFC. Granted, she's
Yeah.
going to be bouncing all over the place in the squared circle that they use, and that's going to be a whole lot of attention because I guarantee she's going to have a whole shitload of sponsors that are just dying to have their name placed across her ass while she's boxing. But I don't know how much longer her career is going to last. Realistically, if she thinks that fucking BKFC is where she's going to have
Is the way to
future,
go.
oof, that's heavy, man. That's a lot. We'll see, though. Best of fucking luck.
Yeah.
I'll watch. I'm going to find out. I'm going to watch.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, man. So we got a trio of announcements here for what they have set to be UFC 255, which will be November 21st as of right now, ideally at the Apex, just like every other fucking show is going to be for the foreseeable future till they're ready to get back to Abu Dhabi or the world opens back up. But we got 3 fights announced. The headline, or the main event rather, the co-main event, and then what I'm assuming is going to probably be premier prelim, because they can't really make this one the people's co-main event, because that's a little too much. But suffice to say, flyweight will be on display at 255. So our co-main event, excuse me, I had to clear the bullshit out of my throat to be able to say that one properly. Our co-main event for UFC 255 will be Davison Figueiredo defending his newly acquired belt for the first time against first-timer in the flyweight division, Cody Garbrandt.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a thing that's about to happen. Garbrandt will be making his debut at 125, coming off that lucky last-second fucking shot against the fucking title holder. So I really think that kind of shows you how the UFC feels about Figueiredo, which is kind of fucked up.
I mean, again, like I like I get it. Cody Garbrandt, fucking no love. I get why they'd give him a title shot. It's the same thing that we all said, 2 weeks ago? You're just coming in to a new weight, a new weight class and a new division. I don't like the fact that they're giving somebody an instant title shot just because it's money, just because it's fucking views. I don't like that.
Yep.
I get it because it's money. You're a business. I understand that. I respect that idea.
Right.
But you need to put him through at least the top 5. Let him go against like number 5, number 3, and then if he can get through both of those in a decent fashion, then I understand that title fight.
Right.
I wouldn't
even be so picky as to say 3. I would say give me 2 good ones. Give me a top 10 guy right out of the gate, do good enough to warrant getting a top 5 guy, and then take a top 5 guy and do good enough against the top 5 guy to show me that you can handle that fucking title shot. Because realistically, if you're going to skip the line, you can't skip the entire goddamn line, having never made that weight before, period. Look what that did to TJ. First time he ever fucking tried that weight, and he had EPO, and bitch-ass Henry was able to knock him the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, it's very clear that Cody is trying to show that he can do what TJ couldn't, but at the same time, you're doing it the same way that he tried it, and you're going to get the same fucking result. Like, I don't agree with this whole fucking everybody who's got a name gets a title shot bullshit. If rankings don't mean anything, how the fuck is a guy supposed to get himself a name worthy of just getting a title shot if you're not playing by the fucking rankings anymore, now that the guys that you like have the rankings you like so that you can justify their title shots? Like, that's fucked up. You can't do it that way.
Yeah, because especially flyweight. Dude, you've had people that have been battling, fucking scratching
for
at the walls.
the last 3.5 years trying to get Henry's bitch ass to defend the fucking belt, which he never fucking did,
Even
despite his shit talking.
Yeah, you've been getting people fucking grinding to get a number, a number behind them. You've had people grinding for that, and it's, oh well, this is Cody Garbrandt. You know, we're just gonna throw him in first fight. Let's shake the pool up. I mean, I get it, but I don't fucking like that. That's stupid.
Agreed.
That tells everybody else, like, oh, okay, I'm number two. I don't even get this yet. What the
Right,
fuck
yeah.
is going on with
Good
that?
luck. Wait in turn while someone from another division steals your shot. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either.
And then it's gonna be, and then and then if Cody does win or lose, then there's gonna have to be at least a couple months in between for healing to get back to your title shot. And then if Cody wins, Figueiredo is going to be, oh no, that was a fluke. I want my rematch,
Yep.
and then there's going to be a second fight, and then you get your chance
When it
in
gets
6
it
fucking
gets
months from
deeper
now.
than that too. It gets even deeper than that with the other fight that they announced on this fucking card. That's what I'm saying. This one can't exactly be the co-main event because they can't have 3 flyweight shots in a fucking row. But co-main event is going to be Cody getting his shot at the flyweight belt against Figueiredo, which I don't agree with, but whatever. We'll see how that goes. This other fight they've already announced is the number 1 flyweight contender fight. Brandon Moreno against Alex Perez. Like, that's the top fucking top 3 guys, realistically, in the 125 division, and Cody Garbrandt on one fucking card in one night. So, regardless of how the Cody and Figueiredo fight shakes loose, the next guy who should be getting the shot at that belt will be determined on the same fucking night. But we all know,
Yeah.
with Cody coming down to make his fucking splash here, regardless of how that shakes loose, now there's a chance that either he gets lucky and then Figueiredo gets an immediate rematch, which he should, or
Yep.
he beats the shit out of fucking Cody and then Cody cries foul and says that, you know, it's a bad weight cut or something and that they need to run it back, and then either Moreno or Perez gets bumped back again.
Yep. So you're looking at 6-7 months before number 2 in the division even gets shot at
Yep.
the belt, which I
Yeah.
think is bullshit.
This is how hard Henry fucking bottlenecked the division when he decided he wanted to play that fucking I'm going to get all the belts game, which he never actually fucking did. I don't consider his fucking fight against TJ a defense of the 125 belt, so I don't consider him having ever defended that. I don't think there's any chance in the world he deserves a shot at the 45 belt, but now Volkanovski is talking about letting him come out of retirement to get directly ahead of the line and get a shot at that now. So, like, up is down, left is right, black is white. Nothing makes fucking sense in the UFC ranking worlds right now. It's all fucking crazy. With the exception, with the one thing, and even that doesn't really make sense, but it makes the most sense out of anything we've just covered here, because the main event for 255 is the other flyweight fight, the one that's, again, it doesn't make sense, but it's more understandable, and that is Valentina Shevchenko versus Jennifer Maia. That one is still a terrible mismatch, but it makes sense because Joanne Calderwood had the title shot. Jennifer Maia beat Joanne Calderwood's ass, thereby taking the title shot. So, I mean, as close as it can get to being logical, that makes the closest thing to sense out of any of this shit. But
Yeah.
it's still more fucking chunks for the meat grinder. Like, I like Jennifer Maia. I said right away when I saw that Joanne was taking that fight, that was a bad fucking move, that Jennifer was gonna beat her ass. And sure the fuck enough,
Yeah.
ta-da! But I don't think Jennifer has a chance of getting past the bullet, man. She's too dangerous.
Agreed.
But it's going to be lots of 125 pounders at 255. So November is going to be the month of the flyweights, apparently. Another, I don't want to say it's as big, but it's big fucking news. We got the confirmation this week. It's set in stone. It's signed. It's happening. September 19th. One of the most anticipated fights in the UFC in probably the last 5 years. maybe bigger than Conor Khabib, realistically speaking, hatred-wise. We are finally going to get to see Tyron Woodley versus Colby Covington. The deal is inked. We have a date. It's fucking happening. Tyquill versus the MAGA moron is going down. I can't fucking wait because I hate them both and I don't give a fuck who wins because I'm going to make fun of the loser and the winner. But it's finally fucking happening. These two have been jabber-jawing at each other for literally fucking years now without either one of them ever bucking up to the fucking bar and putting your nuts on the goddamn table. Well, ink's on the fucking paper now. Too little, too fucking late. Somebody's going to pay the goddamn piper. I'm in.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who fucking wins. They both suck dick.
Exactly. I hate them both, and I'm gonna make fun of the winner and the loser. But somebody's getting extra ass shitting. Like they're gonna catch.
Like I mean, you remember when Woodley lost his belt that week? I explained my hatred for Tyrone Nyquil Woodley.
Yep.
Like I just don't like him. He's a piece of shit.
Yep.
And nobody likes fucking MAGA hat moron either.
I know. It's so fucking
It's
ironical. I was like, well, it makes sense, I suppose. So we'll see how it fucking goes.
I mean, like the only good possibility that can come out of this would be like an old school trilogy war.
Right.
That's the only like good
And
thing
even
for the
then,
UFC that can come out of this.
There's a lot to be desired from both sides before that even would really be exciting.
Yeah.
Let's see. There was just one more I just saw a second ago here. There it is. Max Roskopf. I think it's Max. We're just gonna call him Max. Made his debut on the last Apex card before they went to Fight Island. It was one of the most controversial debuts from a new guy in a long fucking time. Came in with a 4-0 record, all 4 wins by submission. Had fucking all the hype in the world behind him. Round 1, not bad. Not nearly what everyone expected, but not bad. Round 2, somebody took his Energizer batteries because that boy got the shit beat out of him for the whole round and barely survived the round. During the break coming out to the third, he told his coach, I'm done. I don't want to go back out there. I can't keep going, and literally didn't get up off his stool when the fight went to go back. Referees, asked what the fuck's going on. The coach told him, he can't continue. They called it a TKO stoppage as of the second round. They didn't actually ever start the third round. UFC announced today. That's all we needed to see. We don't have room on the roster for a guy who, in the biggest fight of his career, is not going to walk out on the third round and didn't show up in the first with what got him the fight to begin with. Max apparently made a statement that said that he's been sabotaging his own career his entire life, so he's not surprised that this happened, and he doesn't hold any hard feelings against the UFC, which just kind of makes it suck that much more, because that means that you've got the potential, you have the ability, and you're too in your own head to let yourself do good. Like, go seek some fucking mental help. Like, realistically, go find a fucking mental health coach, get your fucking head on right, and get back in there. You're still young enough to do it. Clearly, you're good enough. But, man, you can't just settle with, oh, well, I self-sabotage. Guess I won't be in the UFC anymore.
Yeah. I mean, from a fighter standpoint, good on you for being, like, a man about the situation. Feeling like, hey, no hard feelings, I have my problems, and I did this to myself. Right. Good fucking on you for stepping up and being a fucking man about the situation. 2, the UFC, I understand why they would let him go. This is the biggest fight of your life. Go out on your fucking shield. You know you have nothing left. Fucking die in the cage for your first fight.
Yeah, you kind of
Take that. Take that 4-1. Take that 4-1. It's one fight. It doesn't matter if it's a win, lose, or draw. It's your debut. Make a fucking statement. Fucking go out in the goddamn blaze of glory.
Well, and UFC has done it time and time again. If you shit the bed and then go look like a stud somewhere else and show them you got your shit together, they'll bring you back. They've done it to several different
give you that
fucking
second
guys.
shot.
Ben Saunders had 3 fucking. He just got released from his 4th contract in the UFC. They'll bring you back if you do good somewhere else. It's not a fucking end all.
If you show potential, if you show the potential, you show the drive, and like you getting better every time you step out. I mean, a company, no matter if they love you or they hate you, they're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yep. But from there, that will bring us to a common theme here. After we found out about Max, we found out about Roman Bogotan, who we literally just saw Saturday night in not this Saturday, last Saturday, who we saw in one of the key roles in what affectionately came to be known as Nutshot Island card. Excuse me. I talked about it on the What Did I Say show, rather, when we recapped the card. In the first 2 fights, there was 5 nut shots. 2 of those nut shots were from Roman Bogotov. He had those 2 nut shots, and then in that same fight, in the later rounds, actually got an illegal knee to a grounded opponent and a strike to the back of the head, all in the same fight. In his debut fight. Well, if you're smelling what you're selling, you probably know what they said when they saw those results, because spring cleaning seemed to have come a little late, but they ain't holding no bullshit. Roman got his walking papers. He is a one and done in the UFC, right along with poor Max. The difference here, I don't know that Roman can really get another shot. I think Roman might be kind of out on his own at this point. In your debut fight, 2 nut shots, both intentional, catching warnings from the ref, then an illegal knee to a downed opponent and a strike to the back of the head after being warned about striking to the back of the head.
I mean, you can get fucked with that fucking knee to a down opponent. Get fucked.
Yeah, that whole fight, like, that dude looked like he was not ready. Like, this was some Bush League bullshit. This dude was straight up not ready for the UFC, but they brought him in anyway. So long, Sailor.
Looks good on paper.
Right.
He might have looked good on paper, but that's about all he got.
Max looked good on paper with 4-0, fucking 4 submissions, and literally quit in the fucking second round and wouldn't get off his stool. So
yeah,
no. But that brings us to the real kind of disheartening part about this whole set is that we got another announcement after that. The UFC, after finding out that he was going to have to withdraw from his latest fight for undisclosed reasons, has decided that they are also going to release Ray Borg. And that super fucking sucks, because every time Ray has had to miss a fight recently is either been from an injury that was out of his control when he got glass from Connor throwing the dolly, or from his fucking child having to have severe fucking crucial, literally life-saving surgery. And that's kind of what everyone assumes that this was, is that something to do with his son, but he's trying not to make it a public issue. Man, it's tough, because Ray missed weight 3 times in a row and canceled 2 fights in a row because of all the craziness that's going on between his son and then his injuries. But it sucks, man. Like, it sucks. Like, it's one of those, you got to be able to see both sides of it in this situation, because from a business standpoint, Ray Borg has not been doing shit for the company for a couple of years on the other side of it, it's not his fault. He didn't do anything wrong. Nothing that has gone through this shit has been of his own choosing or doing. So that makes it kind of fucking hard to see this shit come down on him.
I mean, but let's see how this plays out. Maybe he gets everything straightened out, everything figured out with his son, because as a lot of people know that stay on the MMA news, a lot of people know that Ray's son has been battling some health issues over the last couple of years
Since he was born.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe with him being there, he can get more time in, and there can more be done with his son's health problems. But on the same side, maybe he can get himself figured out with what he's doing with his life, and if he stays fighting, maybe 6-7 months from now into 2021, maybe he sees if he can come back to the UFC, be like, hey, I have everything, I've everything figured out.
That's kind of the way.
Because I mean, a name like Ray Borg, I mean that name is known across the fucking world in MMA.
I'm figuring one of two things is going to go through here because of how this kind of shook loose. Either one, he's going to get time to get everything in his life back in order and get back to where he needs to be and fight on a local Albuquerque circuit, fight an LFA, pick up a fucking FAA2 or FAA3, whatever the fuck that other local promotion down there is that Dana has pulled multiple fighters from. Go back, fight on your local circuit so you don't have to leave. You don't have to fucking leave the family. You can train at home, get a couple of good victories in, get back there, get back in the UFC, get back on track. Or take the alternative route. Follow Sergio. The little guys clearly get treated better over in Bellator. You can get your sponsor money and not have to worry about losing out if something like this happens if you're back in Bellator. Scott Coker understands fighters better than Dana and Mick seem to over in Bellator. So while it sucks, it's not the end of the world. But
yeah,
we got
he has a lot of ways to go with this.
Absolutely.
With who he is and what he's done.
Yeah,
he has a lot.
There's still opportunities, absolutely. But we got 12 minutes before the Cloudy Bunker kicks off, so I'm gonna try and run through a couple of these here real quick. August 21st. Bellator 244, Julia is where the July came from. Julia Budd getting back at it after her fight with Cyborg to welcome a newer Jessie Millet, 9-3, another big fucking lady. A big hype lady. Didn't want that to come out across wrong. Big hyped lady stepping into Bellator to help bring their lady side of the house up to works. Along with that, the co-main event to the main event of Big Country Nelson stepping back in there against Valentin Moldalovsky. So they're literally letting Big Country become the gatekeeper now because they're bringing new guys on the Bellator side of the house and throwing them against Big Country. So we'll see how that shakes out. But the way the Bellator cards have been going lately, the rest of the card should be pretty good. They've been stacking up some pretty good fucking promotions. The other one, Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones Jr. has been moved because they added more fights to the card, and apparently the original venue didn't want to host it anymore, allegedly.
Yep.
But it is still $50 on pay-per-view through the Triller, I think that's what it's called, Triller app. It's whatever. Do you guys? The co-main event to Roy Jones Jr. versus Mike Tyson will now be Jake Paul versus Nathaniel Robinson from the NBA. Like that whole thing is quickly losing validity. What little validity it had, it's dwindling.
I mean, people are only going to watch that fight for fucking Mike Tyson.
Yes.
Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., dude, that's going to be fucking battle.
I agree.
I'm excited about it, and I'm not a big boxing fan. I'm excited about it. It's Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., man.
Right.
Fuck everybody else that's on there. Fuck them.
So, next one real quick. We got word that the hangry Abraham Lincoln Zabit has decided he is not going to stay in the United States and wait to find out if he will get a replacement fight for the August 29th card. He said since Yair is out, no one else is worth his time, and he's going back to Russia for the next foreseeable few months. So fuck that cry baby bitch. Abe Lincoln needs to eat a Snickers and shut the fuck up. We also found out that Yoel Romero is injured and is out of next week's main event against against Uriah Hall. The rumor is that he may have blown an ACL. We haven't had official confirmation, just that he is injured and will be unable to fight. So we lost our fucking main event for next weekend. So again, August-July situation back at the Apex has not been good for fights, and this is another fucking example of that. Although an interesting fight did get announced for September 26th. We are going to see one of our favorite Baltic battlers back in the octagon again. Mercedes Bektik will be taking on Eduardo Garagori, which is going to be a very interesting Eurocentric match, to say the least. September 12th got a new addition to the card that I think everyone is going to want to keep an eye on if you are looking at the up-and-comers in the UFC. Matt Frivola is stepping back in to see if Roosevelt Roberts has finally gotten over the ass whooping that Jim Miller has put on him. I don't believe he has, but I'm curious to find out. Luke Rockhold officially made an announcement on Tuesday that he was considering retirement realistically and has decided against that decision, has decided that he is going to postpone retirement for the sole purpose of trying to get a rematch with Chris Weidman. He said he originally was contemplating retirement because he wants the rematch with Weidman, but didn't want to call him out coming off of a loss, because then you look like an asshole. But Weidman has lost his last 5 fights in a row, so he wasn't getting the chance to not be the asshole, and he had to jump when he got that lucky fucking decision given to him over the weekend. So we'll see if that one pans out or not.
Honestly, both of them just need to shut up, stop bitching, and fucking put the gloves down.
It's Chuck Tito 3 all over again, man.
Both of them have had a fantastic career. They were both title holders. They were both savages of their time when they were in their peak. You're not in your peak anymore. This is a young man's sport.
Yep.
Put them down. Be a Hall of Famer.
Yep. Okay, so we also just last night, this afternoon rather, got the medical suspension list for last week's interesting card, and there are a few interesting ones that I want to go over while we got a few minutes left here. The first one, Tim Means and Kevin Holland both medical suspension till August 30th. Just basically a 2-week, make sure you're good, you're cleared. Understandable. Both dudes looked fucking great. Ankalametov and Weidman, Darren Stewart, Beneil Dariush, all 4 suspended till September 8th. They all took a couple shots. They're all going to need an extra week, but still understandable, not unrealistic. Al Qaisi, Alex Munoz, Nasrat Hakparas, the greatest fucking name in fighting, the Dad Body Constrictor, and Joaquin Buckley, all suspended until September 23rd. All of them took some shots, understandable, but not unrealistic. Turnman, who got his ass whopped pretty goddamn good by Sanchez, out till October 8th. Not unrealistic, but understandable. Then it gets weird. There are 4 fighters who are all suspended until February 5th or until cleared by a doctor because of their individual injuries. Kunitskaya is out until February 5th or until cleared by a maxillofacial surgeon. She has a full orbital fracture around her eye.
Oh, yeah.
Understandable, but strange in the timing. Scotty Holtzman has an orbital fracture and a fracture at the base of his nose as well, an actual fracture of the skull. So he has to be cleared by a maxillofacial surgeon as well. Understandable, but a little bit weird. Josh Barrett has 2 cracked ribs, 1 cracked against the spine. So he has to be cleared by a sports medical doctor, or he's out until February 5th for precautions. And then James Rivera is out. John Rivera is out because he had an orbital fracture on the top side of his eye that they are wanting to make sure he gets. Fight talks real quick, and then we will get the fuck out of here so everyone can get on. What the fuck is that? Hang on, OBS. Really? What the fuck, OBS? There we go. Okay. OBS just shit the bed again for a second. But, so, the first one real quick. As much as we did want to see how it shook loose, we did already lose 1 fight off this weekend's upcoming card. The Ian Kutalaba fight is officially back off because Ian got himself some Backstreet Boys. As much as I really did want to see if he actually could hang or if he was going to get the wobble case to fuck him again, no such luck. We got to wait. We did find out, though, we got 2 new fights. One, a gentleman coming off of this week's Contender Series got his win, and then his contract is getting his fight next week for the August 22nd card. Making his debut will be Impa Kasangane, which is a hell of a fucking name unto itself, being welcomed by another former Contender Series fighter, Maki Patolo. So, after getting choked the fuck out by Darren Stewart this weekend, Coconut Bombs is going to make a quick turnaround and come back next weekend to welcome a fellow Contender Serieser in. I think that's a little weird that he's got choked the fuck out and they're going to let him come back and fight again 2 weeks later. But, yeah, I mean, if you need an example of why that's not good, ask Michael Bisping how that goes for you when you take those fights. But the other last one I want to go through real quick here before we get the fuck out of Dodge. We found out the September 5th card, kind of ironic. Originally, Mirna Moroz was going to fight Viviane Araujo. Well, that's not going to happen anymore. Moroz got herself a visa issue and is going to be stuck. So, stepping in on short notice to take over for Moroz, our favorite half of the black belt couple in the UFC, Montana De La Rosa. So, we will see her back in action in just a few weeks. That being said, we are out of time for this evening. We are out of news for this evening. We will be back tomorrow night for a full I'm No Joe podcast with the crew breaking down this weekend's UFC 252 card. That is all we have got for now. We are going to get the fuck out of Dodge. I will see you all hopefully very soon over on the Cloudy Bunker on the GolfTeeVapes YouTube channel. But that is all we've got for this evening. So remember, don't let ignorance stop you. You can root for anything. Unless you really think.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning. In fact, it was a little bit frightening.